Now at 7, several people are without a home after an apartment fire in southwest Portland. What fire officials say caused the blaze. Plus,
thousands of Kaiser Permanente healthcare workers continue a strike today. And today, Representative Maxine Dexter will also be here to speak in front of those workers. We'll bring you all the updates.
Thanksgiving with no turkey is like 4th of July with no apple pie.
Whatever that means. We're also talking about Thanksgiving. Coming up at 7:45, we'll have the tips and tricks that you can use to save a little money on that turkey. Sunrise streaming live at 7 starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green. Now, I've never watched that show, but I really thought he was going to say it's like 4th of July without fireworks.
Yes, but you do this, apple pie. You do America. Apple pie. America.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Hamburgers. Apple pie.
Sparklers. Yeah.
Let's talk about the weather.
Hey, we are noticing what looks to be some moisture on our camera lens in Vancouver along the Columbia River. So here's what radar is showing. Some mostly traceable amounts of rain, light shower, sprinkle activity that's passed through a story that's now up in the battleground nearing Salmon Creek. And with the radar beam in the hills of Scappoose, it's possible that the beam's actually shooting over some light rain that might be falling around the Columbia River, as I just mentioned. The cameras all show clouds. Here's Schnickwins Casino Resort in Lincoln City. Clouds out through the gorge as well. The Oregon Veterans Home camera looking at the Columbia River out in the Dalles. And there's downtown Portland. The forecast, we're calling it sprinkles or traces of rain with clouds out there out the door. Rain jacket, I don't know, 49 degrees. By noon, we're starting to see some clearing, 57, and then we go on to see increasing sun this afternoon. So this turns out to be a really nice day, 62. And Chris, the clouds are keeping us close to 50 this morning, so pretty nice day all around.
Yeah, for sure. A lot warmer than yesterday, right? I, too, also noticed some sprinkles in my windshield early in the wee hours of this morning. All right, I want to head over to Lacamas Lake. Just get word of a possible fender bender here on SR 500 near 43rd. So watch out for it looks like there's maybe a little bit of congestion around that. The freeway drive this morning, we'll switch gears, take you over to the west side. I don't know why well, in any event, there's Highway 26. We're tapping the brakes a little bit coming down the hill from the zoo into the Vista Ridge Tunnel. Elsewhere in the freeway system, Friday morning commutes typically start a little bit later. They're not quite as heavy, and so with that in mind, we're still, as we roll into the 7 o'clock hour, China, we're in pretty good shape out there on the freeways for now.
All right, thank you, Chris. We have breaking news overnight. Multiple people have been displaced after an apartment fire in the Bridal Mile neighborhood in southwest Portland. So this happened around midnight near Southwest 59th Avenue and Beaverton-Hillsdale Highway. Portland Fire and Rescue say that the fire was contained to a 4th floor apartment unit. One person was evaluated, but no other injuries were reported. Multiple residents were displaced by water damage from the sprinkler system. And officials say that the fire was caused by an unattended candle, adding that the smoke alarms in the unit were likely not working. Around 4,000 Kaiser Permanente workers continue to strike this week for more staffing and better wages. This morning, Oregon Representative Maxine Dexter is expected to hold a press conference at the picket line. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us from Clackamas, where the news conference will be. So Thomas, bring us up to speed on this strike.
Hey, good morning, China. And yeah, thousands of workers here in Oregon and Southwest Washington went on strike on Tuesday. This strike's going to go on until Sunday morning. These are people like nurses, therapists, social workers, and other healthcare workers who are on strike after union leaders say Kaiser has been unwilling to address key issues like a lack of staff and salary concerns. Kaiser Permanente says it's offered a fair contract. The Oregon Federation of Nurses and Health Professionals voted overwhelmingly to authorize the strike. One nurse told us this week some staff make 20 to 30% below market rate. Kaiser disputes that, saying union employees earn 16% more than their peers. This is all part of a larger strike happening at Kaiser medical centers in several states. And negotiations have been ongoing since March. Both sides say some progress has been made, though they're still far apart on a deal. And during this strike, Kaiser has brought in around 600 temporary workers to our area. Kaiser also says that some appointments may have been moved online or they may have been flat out rescheduled. In China, once again, Representative Maxine Dexter is expected to be here speaking in front of workers at 7:30 this morning. We're just starting to see some of those workers arrive. Of course, we'll bring you all the updates coming up at 8. China?
Thomas, thank you. Meantime, Providence is permanently closing occupational medicine and workplace health services at 4 Portland metro area clinics. The hospital system said the decision is due to changing needs in the community and that it's moving away from occupational medicine and workplace health services as a core part of its business. So starting November 7th, the service will no longer be offered at Providence's Bridgeport Health Center in Tigard, Clackamas Medical Plaza, Tanasbourne Health Center in Hillsborough, and the Newburgh Medical Center. Occupational health services will still be offered at the Hood River Memorial Hospital. Around 43 nurses and caregivers will be laid off due to the service shutdown. Providence said it has offered severance pay to each employee being laid off and is encouraging those who want to stay with the hospital group to apply to open positions.
They're like, hey, bro, you gotta go.
New video from the ICE facility last night shows someone honking their horn outside. Our crews say that they were doing this for about 10 minutes before federal agents on the roof of the building shot tear gas at the car. Portland police say they made no arrests last night near the ICE facility. Meantime, the 9th Circuit Court of Appeals is still trying to decide if President Donald Trump can deploy troops to respond to protests at the ICE facility. But a ruling yesterday in Chicago could play a role in their decision. That's because the 7th Circuit Court agreed with a federal judge that the facts on the ground in Chicago do not constitute a rebellion. So that means that the restraining order there will continue. Oregon will now cite that ruling in its own case. Videos have been circulating on social media of people boxing in federal agents with their cars in Hillsborough on Tuesday. This as another video of a federal agent detaining a man in Northwest Portland was also caught on camera the same morning. Celine Stevens has more.
It was jarring to see it in my own neighborhood, and I felt like it needed to be documented.
This is video captured Tuesday morning around 8 in Northwest Portland along Nadeau Parkway of a man appearing to be detained by federal agents. That's when Gina Gladstone says she noticed multiple cars and agents surrounding this Toyota.
It didn't look like the Portland police. They had the tactical vests, one said DHS, maybe federal police. I started videotaping, and 2 of the officers who didn't have their faces covered immediately covered their faces.
She described it all as frightening.
I was afraid that nobody would know what happened to this person. He didn't resist. It was a young man. He looked bewildered. He looked frightened.
According to the law firm who says they are representing the man, they say they, quote, can confirm that my client entered the United States legally. However, we currently do not have complete information regarding his subsequent status and proceedings.
We can play. My car's bigger than yours.
Less than 2 hours later, another incident was being filmed in Hillsborough, this time with drivers boxing in federal agents with their cars.
If you have a car, please pull behind them. It's ICE.
Kylie Delgado says she got an alert from a community group she's in, warning that federal agents were outside a nearby apartment, so she went to check it out.
When I pulled up, they refused to identify themselves. And then once they did, they said that they were Hillsborough Police Department, but didn't have proper identification.
She said federal agents said they had a warrant, but didn't show it. Hillsborough police confirmed their officers were not involved in the incident. KGW reached out to ICE for comment, but they referred to U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
You're not going anywhere.
Delgado explaining the reason for her actions, saying she sees an abuse of power and wanted to ensure the safety of the neighborhood, wanting people to know about resources available to them like the Portland Immigrant Rights Coalition.
They don't belong here in our streets. Our electeds have said as much, our neighbors have said as much, and we want them to leave.
Celine Stevens, KGW News.
All right, your time now is 7:09. We're taking a live look at Timberline Lodge from our Skycam out there. It looks, well, cold. Cold and
Wet.
Wet.
I'm helping you out there. Wet.
Yeah, the meteorologist needed to chime in. I didn't know if it was raining or snowing. It just looked wet.
Yeah, temperature's been holding in the, I think the 40s up there this morning under the cloud deck, and saw some raindrops on the lens. You're seeing more and more of that. Radar is now picking up some light rain over Sandy, and we've seen some raindrops on our Vancouver waterfront camera as well. There's battleground. So remember, the forecast was for possible sprinkles overnight into this morning, or some traces of rain. And I would say, if anything, we're squeezing the absolute maximum amount of moisture out of these clouds that look to be a possibility. I think these rain chances should be ending once we get through, say, 9 o'clock or so this morning. Here is a look at where it looks like we've seen a touch of light rain from the Springs at the Waterfront camera in Vancouver. Looking at traffic moving okay on the interstate bridge. 53 degrees is the temperature. And then you bounce out to Sherwood, the Shadeland tasting room camera. And there are some breaks in the cloud cover out that way. 51 is the number. Enough cloudiness. The temperatures generally from Corvallis, Albany up through Portland, Vancouver, and Longview have been holding around 50 to above. I mean, there's Happy Valley at 49, but you can see for the most part we are 50 or above. Downtown Portland at 53 degrees and similar temperature of 50 in Salem and 50 degrees down in Albany. So this is a morning thing, if you will. This afternoon we'll see increasing sunshine as we clear out of all of this. And basically everybody this afternoon develops pretty good sun from the coast all the way out east, and inland temperatures generally 60 to 65 statewide. 63 for Portland. So it turns out to be a nice improving afternoon into the evening. Tomorrow early sun maybe, otherwise we cloud over but stay dry. Then we have the rain overnight Saturday, the heavy showers coming and going on Sunday. Little rain cells passing, if you will. And then after that, we go on our dry stretch Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, into Thursday morning of next week. And that is your update.
Hey, Rod, thanks for that. Hey, reminder, if you use TriMet to get to and from PDX, the max delays are still, or I should say disruption continues for a couple more days. And specifically, we're talking about the Red Line. They're doing east side improvements. And so TriMet through tomorrow, using shuttles to serve stops between PDX and Gateway. That could add a few minutes to your commute, obviously. So just be prepared for that. That should wrap up late tomorrow night. All right, let's get you back out the door. Again, looks like we've got a fender bender out in Camas near Lacamas Lake on SR 500 near Southeast 15th. And at least judging by the traffic map here, we've got some local congestion getting around that. Otherwise, the freeway drive still in pretty good shape. There's the Vista Ridge Tunnel. Your eastbound drive getting a little bit busier, but so far, as we look at all of our freeway cameras, we don't have any major trouble out there just yet. China, we're still pretty close to a speed limit clip.
Thank you, Chris. Still to come on Sunrise. What do you do if you see this on the road? That's smoke right there. Chris McGinnis will break down what smoke coming from your tailpipe could mean about your car. And this morning's Driving Me Crazy. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in just 2 minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
So that sound means it is time for another edition of Driving Me Crazy. It's a series about things that drives us nuts on the roads. Chris McGinnis joins us in the studio this morning to talk about smoky cars.
They're ugly, they're stinky, and they may be a sign of a costly problem for your vehicle. We're talking smoky tailpipes. AAA says sometimes the color of the smoke can tell you what's wrong. Black smoke usually means your engine's burning too much fuel, maybe from a clogged air filter or bad fuel injectors. Blue or gray smoke? That's oil burning, often from worn piston rings or valve seals. And thick white smoke could mean coolant is leaking into your engine, possibly a blown head gasket. So Oregon DEQ says that if your car looks like this, don't expect to sneak through emissions testing. Inspectors will turn away any vehicle that's actively smoking, they say. The owner has to fix it before it can be tested. They also follow up on smoking vehicle complaints if someone reports a plate number. And if you can't stand the stench while you're driving and stuck behind one or stuck in one, try upgrading your cabin air filter to a HEPA or activated charcoal version. The American Lung Association and car and drivers say it can help scrub out nasty odors while you drive. So, you brought this up last time, talking about putting on the recirculation fan. That air cabin filter is a really great way to just kind of, filter out some stenchy stuff. I wanted to put stenchy stuff. I didn't know what else to say. To be clear, the area around Portland and the area around Medford, those are the areas where you have to do your DEQ emissions testing. So I suppose if your car's smoking, you don't have to do anything about it, but you probably should.
And for those who don't know, the button he's talking about, it's a button in your car somewhere by the AC or something, and it has like a car with like an arrows going in a circle. So if you hit that, it just circulates the air inside the car, doesn't pull in air from the outside, so you won't smell the stenchy things.
There you go. And some of those repairs, by the way, I can't blame people for not fixing them. They're expensive.
Oh, sure.
Head gasket.
Yeah, but good grief, if your car is just putting out black smoke, that's a problem.
I caught all of those within the last month, so do better, people. I want to know what drives you nuts on the roads. We don't have time for other stuff. You can hit me up on social media, or you can email me, cmcginnis@kgw.com. Bonus points for photos and videos.
Bonus point?
Bonus.
Does that lead to like
Put you on TV.
Some sort of coupon, or you get on TV? Okay, all right, there you go. We have a weak front, and the front itself is pretty much right on top of us right now. It's not producing any wind. We have a lot of clouds, which have held the temperature up. And remember, the forecast was sprinkles or traces of rain this morning, maybe. Well, this is, if anything, overproducing. We've got areas of light rain that have passed Astoria. So you can see this is all moving this way. And if you time everything out, I think the light rain that's now falling all the way down to the Columbia River and out towards Sandy really ought to be getting out of here in the 9 o'clock hour this morning. So some of us are getting a touch of some light moisture this morning, others not. We're all waking up, for the most part, to cloudy skies. Pretty look at our state capitol this morning under the clouds. And there's that nice temperature. Remember, the clouds came in yesterday afternoon, so we never really cooled down last night much. 50 in Salem, and a similar number in Portland, 53. And PDX now officially reporting at least a trace of rain falling as we look at the illuminated courthouse from the Pioneer Park building. Winds are southeast of 5 miles per hour. 57 out in the Dalles. Cloudy for you folks this morning as well. And we've got breaks in the cloud cover in mid-30s out in Burns and Baker City. Your Futurecast movie for today correctly showing some bits of light moisture in the area at 8 o'clock this morning. Here we are now going into the afternoon, clearing skies as all the clouds get out of here. And statewide, we see increasing sun for a nice afternoon, a nice evening tonight as well. Here are clouds quickly returning during the day tomorrow. So much of tomorrow will be cloudy. Models have continually shown that the line of rain chances tomorrow, Astoria to Longview, and then the rain chances get better north tomorrow as you go up towards Seattle. I think for Portland and Salem, we ought to stay dry until we get into the overnight hours. This is 1 a.m. overnight into Sunday morning. There's a solid rain band with our next front, which is a pretty good one. Some breezy to gusty winds with that. That clears by sunup, and then heavy showers coming and going. See the bright colors during the day. Could be some gusts with some of these little mini rain cells, maybe even a rumble of thunder that is coming through on Sunday. Snow levels will be similar to last Sunday. 5,000 down to about 4,500 feet for sticking snow in general. How much moisture are we talking about? Half of an inch is what we could see at the coast, a quarter to maybe half of an inch of rain in the valley. All of that would mean at least 6 inches of new snow up at Timberline Lodge Saturday night, Sunday, maybe more than that, but I think at least 6. And then we've got mid-60s today in Salem with the afternoon sun coming, and similar numbers, low 60s up in southwest Washington. Winds will stay light. So Some light dab of moisture out there to start, but increasing sun. And then there's the heavy showers on Sunday, followed by a stretch of dry weather Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Here's Chris. He's back.
Rod, let's go ahead and check out the drive right now. Our Friday morning commute typically is a little lighter, starts a little later than Monday through Thursday, and this morning is holding true to form. I can take you over to one of our slow spots. It's not that slow, but we're riding the brakes a little bit, coming down the hill from the zoo into the Vista Ridge Tunnel. This is the Vista Ridge Tunnel. The headlights there, that's the eastbound commute. So a little bit of brake tapping there. Up near the Fremont Bridge, I-5 at 405, traffic still zipping along just fine there. And I-84, the Banfield, out near 82nd. Again, Monday through Thursday, we would be stop and go from here the rest of the way into town, but just not the case yet. So I would expect the drive times to creep up a little bit in the next hour. But for right now, we're still in pretty good shape. China?
Thank you, Chris.
We want to stop the killing. 7,000 people a week. Can you believe it? We want to stop the killing.
Just days after the Trump administration helped facilitate a peace deal between Israel and Hamas, President Donald Trump is turning his attention toward ending the war in Ukraine. Coming up, who the president is set to meet with later today.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
President Donald Trump is set to meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House today. It comes a day after the president said that he would meet again with Russian President Vladimir Putin in a push to end Russia's war in Ukraine. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington, D.C.
President Trump wading back into negotiations over the Ukraine war, hosting Ukrainian President Zelensky today at the White House and announcing a second in-person meeting with Russian President Putin in Hungary in the coming weeks, after what he called a very productive phone call with Putin Thursday.
We want to stop the killing. 7,000 people a week. Can you believe it? We want to stop the killing.
The fighting in Ukraine has only intensified in the 2 months since the last Trump-Putin summit in Alaska, and the president has repeatedly voiced frustration with Putin for keeping up the attacks.
I'm very disappointed in him because I thought this would have been an easy one to settle.
Frustration sometimes directed at Zelensky, too, who is expected today to press for long-range Tomahawk missiles that would help Ukraine strike deep into Russia.
I don't know what we can do about that.
President Trump citing American need.
We can't deplete for our country. So, they're very vital. They're very powerful.
Russia has warned any Tomahawk transfer would significantly damage U.S.-Russia relations, though Zelensky said he believes the threat of the weapons had forced Moscow to resume negotiations. Zelensky also noting he hopes to build off President Trump's success brokering a Gaza ceasefire, as the president responded to deeply troubling videos of Hamas conducting public executions, clearly not disarmed. The president writing, "If Hamas continues to kill people in Gaza, which was not the deal, we will have no choice but to go in and kill them," though he underscored U.S. troops would not be involved in the fight.
Ukraine's president enters the White House today in a strengthened position with President Trump, who posted last month that with the support of Europe, Ukraine was in position to take back all of its territory from Russia, a major shift in rhetoric the Ukrainians hope to turn to real battleground backing. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Now to your morning rush. John Bolton has surrendered himself to federal authorities. He's expected to make his first court appearance later today. Prosecutors say the former national security advisor shared more than 1,000 pages of diary-like entries containing top secret information. Bolton faces 8 counts of transmitting and 10 counts of retaining national defense information. Senate Republican leaders may take up a bill next week to pay federal workers impacted by the shutdown. 60 votes would have been needed to move the bill forward. Majority Leader John Thune has taken steps to bring it to the floor, and other Republicans are considering a separate bill to pay military members. Ace Frehley, the original lead guitarist of the iconic band Kiss, has died at the age of 74. Frehley's agent said that he died peacefully, surrounded by family, following a recent fall. His exact cause of the death hasn't been released yet, and that's your morning rush. Coming up in our next half hour, local immigration groups suing federal immigration agencies after they say people detained by ICE are not being allowed to speak with their attorney before being transferred out of state. Plus,
whatever you would normally cook through the weekday, that's what we gonna have. It might be spaghetti.
shoppers pulling back on their holiday spending and getting creative with their Thanksgiving feast. Coming up, we'll have a look at what you can do to help you and your family save a little money this November. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We're coming up on 7:29 on your Friday morning drive as we look at a sampling of some of the cameras across the metro area. We're starting to see a few slow spots build, but as is typically the case on Fridays, the commute starts a little bit later. It's a little bit lighter. And so with that in mind, we're still pretty close to a speed limit drive out of Clark County over the bridges. And as we watch the sunset, that's up a few ticks here, about 16 minutes or so to get you in from Hillsborough. Rod?
All right, Chris, I did not hear you mention rain, which tells me, generally speaking, there's not enough going on to really make the roadways that wet. Now, there has been, or is, a decent shot of light rain moving across parts of Clark County. And now we've got some rain showers showing up, or at least sprinkles or traces of rain showing up in the Portland area. You've had some of that along the waterfront in Vancouver. So there are some sprinkles or traces of rain to be found. 53 is the number. We will see increasing sunshine this afternoon and get up to about 63. So the forecast is on track. It's just that I think we're getting as much light rain this morning as this weather system could have possibly produced. Heavy showers will impact your plans on Sunday.
Charmin is going big
Oh, wow.
with its new Forever roll.
Where do you keep that thing?
Yeah, 1,700 sheet roll, about 32 times bigger than the standard one, is designed to last up to a month for a two-person household. You can find it at Walmart, Target, and Amazon with a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Huh.
Wow. Yeah, it looks like you have to get its own stand.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't fit on a normal.
To remodel our bathroom to fit that thing in there.
Yeah.
It's like the
like the size that goes in the
industrial,
big-
right?
Yeah.
You go into office buildings, they have those big rolls like that.
Yeah.
I will say this, man. We like Costco, but we started spending the extra money to buy the Charmin at Costco as opposed to the Kirkland brand.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that Charmin is nice and soft.
I mean, that's why it has the cute little fuzzy bears on the
Yes,
commercial.
that's exactly right. All right, moving on. I grew up with Charmin, and I'm back, baby. All right, we have some light rain in the area moving through, especially Clark County. So obviously, that's more than sprinkles. That's some light rain moving through the area. So again, we had the chance of traces of rain or sprinkles in our forecast this morning. I think this is overproducing from that a little bit, but the timing is the same. I think once we get to the 9 o'clock hour, all of that will be moving out, and then this afternoon we still expect increasing sun. So it turns out to be a really nice day. Clouds are widespread this morning. There's Snickwins Casino Resort in Lincoln City, 51 degrees, and the clouds over downtown with PDX reporting some light showers currently out along the Columbia. 53 is the number. So we'll look for some breaks in clouds by noon and then becoming mainly sunny this afternoon eventually and up to 63. Sun up 7:30, so the sun is now up and should be popping over the Cascades in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Chris, absolutely seeing reports of light rain out there.
You know, we just heard from photojournalist Eric Patterson out on the roads. Yep, he's getting some sprinkles, right? All right, let's go ahead and pick it up out in Camas again. Still getting word of this fender bender on SR 500 near 15th, near Lacamas Lake. So as you look at the map here, you can see some local slowing getting around that. The road is open, but obviously a little slow there. The freeway drive, I don't see any rain out here just yet, but obviously we're hearing some reports of that. Nonetheless, the drive still in pretty good shape. Friday morning commutes tend to start a little bit later, and they're a little bit lighter, and there you go. 10 minutes or so get you in from Main Street to Fremont on I-5 southbound, and the inbound 84 commute. Just 18 minutes now from Troutdale to downtown. China?
Thank you, Chris. We are following up on that fire at the International School of Portland on South Water Avenue. Portland Fire says the fire started on a deck attached to the school building. The flames broke out some windows, but crews were able to stop it before it spread inside. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Your time now is 7:32. We are taking a live look right now at Sunnyside Medical Center in Clackamas, where Oregon Representative Maxine Dexter is expected to speak on behalf of the 4,000 striking Kaiser Permanente healthcare workers. Our reporter Thomas Schultz is there right now. He said that Maxine Dexter is actually in line right now on the picket line. But the workers have been on strike since Tuesday and plan to end their strike on Sunday. So Thomas Schultz will join us live coming up at 8 with more on what the Oregon representative has to say. Some immigration groups are now taking new legal action against federal agencies over access to detainees, alleging that detainees inside the ICE facility were often unable to reach their attorneys. Amma McCarty has a story.
So I think, as all Oregonians know, Trump has made Portland a target in terms of threats to deploy the National Guard. And this week, we've seen increased ICE activity significantly.
In response, Innovation Law Lab filed a lawsuit Thursday arguing that ICE and Customs and Border Protection have been denying people detained by the agencies meaningful access to counsel before an out-of-state transfer.
We have these laws in place to make sure that people are treated fairly, no matter where they were born and what they look like. And so our suit today seeks to help establish a small piece of that, just even with the right to talk to an attorney.
As legal director Jordan Cunnings explains, even as attorneys respond as quickly as possible, they're met with obstacles.
The problem is ICE is unlawfully denying people an opportunity to access a thorough consultation with that attorney when they're held at the temporary holding facilities in Portland, McAdam, or in Eugene.
The lawsuit describing several cases where immigration attorneys can't speak with their detained clients or wait hours in the lobby only to have their client taken out the back door and transferred to the ICE facility in Tacoma or elsewhere. While access has been a problem in the past, Cunnings believes it's only getting worse.
I think just like many immigration policies under the Trump administration, it's now being amped up to sort of the maximum degree of cruelty and unlawfulness. And as we see the increase in sweeps and unlawful arrests and masked men whisking people off the street, the access becomes all the more important.
As for next steps, attorneys want the court to pause the transfers out of state, ensuring due process.
That was Alma McCarty reporting. We reached out to DHS, ICE, and CBP for a comment on the lawsuit, and we're waiting to hear back. New this morning, school board members in Portland Public Schools unanimously approved a resolution allowing board members to be paid this week. The stipend allows board members to be paid more than $500 a month. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has the latest.
Portland Public Schools school board members say this decision really boils down to equity. They say just over $500 a month really doesn't amount to much, but it does allow more low-income people to become more involved and maybe even become school board members for Portland Public. In 2023, the Oregon legislature allowed school board members to be paid for the first time, though no school board in the state changed their policy until now. At a board meeting on Tuesday, Portland Public School board members approved the measure. If every member takes the $576 allocated per month, it costs just under $45,000 a year. That's a tiny fraction of Portland Public's $2 billion budget. Vice Chair of the board, Michelle DePass, told us she spends 18 to 20 hours a week on work for the school board. DePass says the change will allow more people, like single parents, to get more involved with Portland Public Schools.
You know, as a single parent, I found it challenging at first to even consider doing this, and I'm happy that there is a small stipend because it may allow for people that have to provide a pizza to their children or a babysitter. It might allow more participations.
Now, board members can refuse the stipend. During Tuesday's vote, when they actually made this decision, each board member recused themselves while their fellow board members voted for pay on their specific seat. Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
Elephants at the Oregon Zoo got into the autumn spirit with the annual squishing of the squash. Elephants got to demolish some of the biggest pumpkins you ever done seen, and then enjoy the pulp, seeds, and everything else that the zoo staff put in. They first squash them and then they nosh them. This year, Larry Nelson from Pacific Giant Vegetable Growers Club helped provide the pumpkins.
For me, it's more just getting my whole family together. There was probably 25 of us that all got together, and we'll spend the day at the zoo. And I love elephants. You know, I mean, who doesn't love elephants?
One of the zoo's newest stars did not participate. Tula 2 was only 8 months old, and turns out that the pumpkins, which weigh up to 1,000 pounds, are a little too big for Tula 2, but she did enjoy a smaller one on her own. The squishing of the squash has been a zoo tradition since 1999. Look at her. She was so cute. She's going to smash that little pumpkin.
I think she could have handled a bigger one than that, but I'm not an expert.
It may have taken longer, but she could have, eventually get it.
Yeah. All right. Well, our forecast that called for sprinkles or traces of rain this morning is kind of overperforming, if you will. Here's radar. Everything is dropping down from the northwest. So I think the rain chance for you folks up in Astoria, Long Beach, for example, is over for the day. And in the 9 o'clock hour, I think is when we'll see the light rain that's moving through right now with the passage of a weak front. That'll be moving out of our area as well. But we do have some light rain around the Portland area currently. Here's the Willamette Valley Vineyards camera just south of Salem. They've got some breaks down in wine country in what is generally a cloudy sky. And I pulled up the Oregon Zoo camera in the West Hills because I wanted to see if the pavement was wet. Doesn't really look to me like it is. It's 51 degrees, though, being reported with some light rain in the area. 50 up in Scappoose, 51 degrees in West Lynn. The clouds that came in, remember, yesterday afternoon, did not allow temperatures to really cool down much last night. So it's a very comfortable first step out the door this morning, with most areas within a degree or two of 50 in Salem. Annie's our KGW dog of the day, all dressed up as a bee, I'm assuming, for Halloween. 2 weeks from today. Dog of the day at kgw.com is the email address. Send us your dog's photo and name, and your dog will become our dog of the day. So that's simple. All right, this afternoon, the clouds pretty much gone. Certainly the chance of any rain gone, and everybody will be looking at increasing sunshine through the afternoon hours. And statewide, about the same. Salem 64, Madras 65 at 4 o'clock, and there's Baker City at 63, upper 50s to maybe 60 at the beach. Tomorrow stays dry, and the Rose City will cloud over after maybe some early sun. Heavy rain band overnight could wake you up Saturday night. Heavy showers coming and going during the day Sunday. After that, it's dry on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That is your forecast. Here's Chris.
Rob, thanks. I want to take you back out to Camas. Again, we've got this crash reported on SR 500 near 43rd Avenue here. This is right on the east side of Lacamas Lake. And again, you can see some local slowing getting around that. So be aware that may take you a few extra minutes to get out of your neighborhood there. Over on the west side, we are riding the brakes a little bit coming down the hill from the zoo into the Vista Ridge Tunnel. But again, not bad. On Monday through Thursday, we would consider this a really good commute, right? I-84 westbound, this is out near Lloyd Center. Traffic, again, riding the brakes a little bit. But so far, as we look at the drive times, we're still in relatively good shape out there. So far, so good. 20 minutes right now, get you in from Troutdale to I-5. China?
Thank you, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like going shopping for Thanksgiving airfare. You're not going to wait until that last week and expect to get a great deal.
If you are waiting until the last minute to get your Thanksgiving staples, you might want to rethink your plan. Coming up, what you can do to save a little money this Thanksgiving. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in just 2 minutes.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Now for a look at your consumer headlines. AT&T is raising home internet rates by $5 a month starting in December. To offset the cost, the company says customers can save by enrolling in auto pay and paperless billing, which takes $10 off when you link a bank account, or $5 off with a debit card. Spotify is teaming up with major music labels, including Sony, Universal, Warner, among others, to develop responsible AI products. The company says the goal is to empower artists and songwriters and strengthens connections with fans. Spotify is investing in a new AI research lab, which hasn't said which tools are coming. The partnership will focus on fair pay, artist choice, and new ways to engage fans. And Southwest Airlines is showing off its new look. The planes will feature leather seats with adjustable headrests, power ports at every seat, extra leg room up front, and bigger overhead bins. Southwest plans to roll out the new design across its fleet. And starting next Friday, Rapid Rewards members get free in-flight Wi-Fi. We're gearing up for the KGW Great Toy Drive. Now is the time to sign up to help us collect toys this year. Own a local business, part of a local organization, throwing a big holiday party, you can definitely help. Go to kgw.com/toy, sign up, and we will send you the official Great Toy Drive collection kit. And just like that, it's never too early to get a head start on Christmas, and it's never too early for Thanksgiving dinner either. With only 6 weeks left until Turkey Day, a number of grocery stores are already starting to advertise deals that could save families a pretty penny. NBC's Brian Chung has the big turkey tips to save you the most on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving with no turkey is like 4th of July with no apple pie.
It's never too early to start thinking about that grocery bill for Thanksgiving. Shoppers nationwide are already stocking up ahead of Turkey Day.
Here's a little PSA. Start getting your dry ingredients and non-perishables.
With Aldi getting an early jump on Thanksgiving prep, announcing a $40 haul that will feed 10 turkey, side dishes, and pie, all included. That deal, $7 cheaper than it was last year. The Honey Baked Ham Company also already selling a frozen Thanksgiving dinner that can feed up to 18 for less than $200 with all the fixings. These offerings hitting at a time where inflation remains top of mind for consumers.
I'm at the grocery store and these prices are ridiculous.
The cost of turkey might also gobble up more out of your wallet, with news warnings of economic factors and disease challenges. That could drive up prices about 40%.
Speaking of flavor,
Popeye's advertising a $55 pre-cooked Cajun turkey, offering the option to outsource the holiday bird entirely, while consumers are getting creative to cut costs around the dinner table.
Whatever you would normally cook through the weekday, that's what we gonna have. It might be spaghetti.
According to a recent report, 21% of people saying they'll plan to ask guests to bring part of the meal, with 15% saying they may swap side dishes to save a buck.
Consumers are going to get around higher costs by shopping for less. They're going to invite fewer people. They're going to have smaller portions.
It's not all bad news. Compared to overall inflation, price increases haven't been as bad for staples like potatoes, as well as sauces and gravies. But of course, snagging a good deal ahead of the holiday is the one thing experts say consumers will be grateful for.
During these really difficult economic times, kind of like going shopping for Thanksgiving airfare. You're not going to wait until that last week and expect to get a great deal.
When it comes to Thanksgiving, I think the best thing you can do is everybody bring a dish.
I like that. I like
So
the
then,
potluck.
Yeah,
actually.
you're not,
Yeah.
spending
Yeah.
$500 doing all this.
Yeah.
You're spending,
I agree.
$30.
And you and your hubby, what are you going to do?
I don't know. We're going to be home this year.
Oh, all right.
So yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what we're going to do.
Two things I'll never do again. I did this last year. I cheaped out and bought a cheaper turkey, and I'm a pretty good turkey cook. It was horrible. I'll
Okay.
never do that again.
Okay.
If you're going to have turkey, get the turkey. And the second thing is years we went out to dinner on Thanksgiving. I'll never do that again.
Yeah, I remember
Supposed-
doing that as a kid
It was
too.
supposed to be a good restaurant. They charge you a car payment.
Yes.
And A, it was not good, and B, there wasn't much of what wasn't good.
Yeah.
Which that was actually good, that there wasn't much of what wasn't good. All right, take a look at our satellite picture with radar dropping down some light rain in the area. Notice that story's cleared. You're done with the rain. This wave of rain should be out of here in the 9 o'clock hour, I think, moving through Portland. But this is overproduced. Matt and I both have had sprinkles or traces of rain in the overnight Friday morning forecast for quite a few days. And it just was looking more and more like it would be sprinkles at most. But that's some bona fide light rain dropping through the area this morning. So hopefully that's not messing with you too much. Let's see here. Yeah, we've got raindrops over the pond out at the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Aloha, 53. So all of a sudden, at least some raindrops falling from the clouds are fairly widespread. No signs of rain out in Carson yet. This is Elk Ridge Golf Course on the Washington side of the gorge, looking back at the mountains. It will be a breezy day to some extent out in the gorge today. Sunshine is coming. You folks will clear out of the clouds, but your winds will be 10 to 20, some gusts to maybe 30 or so during the day. So kind of a breeze, but not overly windy by your standard. We've got 52 in Seattle, 53 in Portland, 50 in Salem. Cloudy skies, keeping temperatures uniform and not that chilly. In fact, it's 57 out in the Dalles this morning. All right, Futurecast, 8 o'clock. We've got the light rain drifting through in the clouds. This shows by the time we get into afternoon, here's 1 o'clock, the clouds are quickly starting to clear out. And then we'll go on to see increasing sun and really a nice afternoon and a nice Friday evening. Here we are clouding up for Saturday. Here is the rain coming in to Portland and Salem and the beach Saturday overnight. This is 1 a.m. That's a front. That's a heavy rain band. 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts at the beach, possibly. 25-mile-per-hour winds through the valley. Enough rain that maybe wakes you up. That's Saturday overnight. You wake up in the morning Sunday. That's over into the Cascades where it could be snow eventually behind the front down to about 4,500 feet. Heavy showers coming and going during the day. Could produce some kind of erratic gusty winds in spots as well. Again, that's Sunday. So steady rain band overnight, Saturday night, heavy showers coming and going Sunday. Half of an inch of rain at the coast is a downgrade from what this model was showing. Still showing a quarter to maybe 45 100ths of an inch or so in the valley. Back to today's forecast, the coast will also see some increasing sun. The gorge will get the increasing sun. I mentioned the west winds gusting to about 30 today. And then I've got Portland and Salem low to mid 60s. Let me click my button. We'll get you to the 7-day. Shazam, here we go, 63. Tomorrow, 63 as well. The heavy showers, 60 on Sunday, and then dry weather on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, Chris, I mean, it's actually kind of wet in some spots this morning.
Check this out. So I'll show you this, Rod. Over on the west side, this is a look at the sunset out near Cedar Hills Boulevard. Granted, from this camera vantage point, we're looking a long way, right? That's the Murray on-ramp, so we're looking at more than a mile of freeway. But I think it looks certainly a little bit damp and out there for the eastbound drive. Of course, all week it's been sun glare that has been blinding drivers on the inbound Sunset. This morning, not the case. So they're getting a little reprieve in that at least. All right, let's switch gears. Door number 2 takes us over to the Banfield. Again, maybe a little misty or drizzly on that side of town as well. So far, traffic, though, zipping along okay for now. And one last check. Well, again, this is the 4 boxes here. The drive there through North Portland. That's your southbound I-5 commute up near Lombard. Quick check of the drive times. We're still in pretty good shape. I don't have any major unexpected delays just yet on this Friday morning. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Healthier Together, sponsored by Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield of Oregon.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and 1 in 8 women will get diagnosed with breast cancer, making it the most common cancer for women in the U.S. And this week's Healthier Together, Christine Pinawanitz takes a look at how you can make a difference in finding a cure.
September 18th, I was diagnosed, and I'll never forget that date. It's been seared into my brain.
September of last year, when Amanda Char, at 50 years old, was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Months prior to that, I did have some symptoms. I did have some pain on the right side, kind of like a deep throbbing soreness, and then extreme fatigue. I just could not function past a certain point of the day.
She got it checked out, but it was her scheduled mammogram that caught it. Less than 3 weeks later, she got a double mastectomy.
I was absolutely terrified. Thank goodness that I was someone that got my mammograms annually and regularly.
Char, whose mother also had breast cancer, is one of the more than 300,000 women who get diagnosed with it every year in the U.S.
The statistics are terrifying, but they are what they are. So we have to recognize 1 in 8. 1 in 8. In every friend group that you're probably a part of, one of you most likely, unfortunately, will be diagnosed with breast cancer. So please get your mammograms.
She's doing her part to spread the message. And this year, she's participating in the local American Cancer Society's Making Strides Against Breast Cancer annual event.
My son made the banners.
And they've made bracelets too. Last year, she couldn't walk in it due to her cancer. This year is different.
I am over the moon to be able to walk, not only show up, but walk this Sunday at University of Portland with my friends and family who were there without me last year.
The money raised will go toward research efforts and programs helping breast cancer survivors.
I cannot wait to be just surrounded physically with thrivers, survivors, and those who supported their breast cancer patients. It's going to be amazing.
Christine Pitawanich, KGW News.
And if you're interested in walking in the Making Strides event, it's happening on Sunday at the University of Portland. The walk starts at 11 a.m. Head to makingstrideswalk.org/PortlandOR to register, or you can sign up in person on Sunday. And a reminder, for more Healthier Together stories, just go to our website, kgw.com/healthiertogether. Coming up at 8, we take a look at this video of an ICE arrest in the Portland metro area, what the woman who watched it happen had to say then.
A lot of houses were taken off their foundations. A lot of houses are floating down the river with people in them.
Devastation in Alaska, with entire communities swept away by floodwaters. The major rescue efforts still underway this morning.